Alright everyone, NPC Unknown here, and welcome back to another video, and today we have some news from BioWare confirming that Shepard's inclusion in the next Mass Effect game merch was a mistake. So BioWare's Mass Effect series has been a major part of video game culture since the first game launched in 2007. It had a compelling story, had fun powers, and had intriguing worlds to help set it apart from other RPGs at the time. But it was the characters that really elevated the franchise. The Mass Effect series featured some of the best and most well-known and beloved sci-fi game characters of all time. The chief among these was Commander Shepard. He may be flanked by a great cast of support characters and crewmates, but it was Shepard who would often steal the show, their heroic deeds, awkward dance moves, and no-nonsense attitude. So fans definitely got their hopes up when a new Mass Effect poster mentioned that Commander Shepard was maybe still alive, and now that's been considered a definite mistake by the Mass Effect project developer Michael Gamble. Yeah, that was a mistake, tweeted Gamble in response to the social media firestorm that quickly surrounded the game via a poster released by Eurogamer. Initially, the Mass Effect's website description made it seem like Shepard was alive and well following the cosmic events of Mass Effect 3. Shepard's final quest may have ended the threat of the Reapers, but at a great cost, including Earth itself, read the description. While Shepard and the survivors are left to pick up these pieces, fans are wondering what's next. The poster's description was quickly changed, but then it was too late. Fans of YouTube and websites such as The Gamer latched onto the fleeting possibility that Shepard might be alive. It turns out that people running BioWare's store just hadn't even played Mass Effect 3 to the end. The original thing was written by people who run the store and aren't familiar with the game, Gamble added in a later tweet. Maybe have your marketing department check it, or have someone that may have played the game to see if it's okay to release that stuff. In all but one of Mass Effect's 3 endings, Commander Shepard sacrifices himself to save the galaxy. On the Destroy ending hints at the possibility that Shepard surviving the war against Reapers. But even if he did, Mass Effect 5 or Mass Effect 4 is likely too far in the future for Shepard to be the protagonist. We know that the Mass Effect game is in early development, but it definitely won't appear before Dragon Age 4. A teaser trailer released last December gave us a few hints at the overall story of the next Mass Effect game, showing the wreckage of both a Reaper ship and a mass relay. Liara also rubbed some snow off a plate piece of N7 armor. The poster itself also provided some clues. The crater is shaped like the Geth, while the Krogan in the group can either be Grunt or Rex, though Grunt seems more likely, seeing he's much younger. Still, it's unlikely that Shepard survived at all, let alone into the future where the next Mass Effect game is going to take place. Well, we're happy to be wrong, of course, but if BioWare somehow finds a plausible reason for Commander Shepard to return, it won't be the first time that Shepard has come back from the dead. So with the potential that Shepard might be alive, there has obviously been pros and cons of bringing Shepard back into the next Mass Effect game. One point is the actual, what they call the Shepard effect. It's undeniable that one of the key factors in the original Mass Effect trilogy was Shepard. Even though the game had characters as popular as Garrus, Rex, and Liara, and many have their own followings, but it was Shepard that was head and shoulders above the rest in the eyes of fans. The original Mass Effect trilogy centered on its expansive story around Shepard and their crew, and this is what really worked well, given that the narrative had an emotional core alongside the action-packed goings-on within the game. The whole galaxy at stake, the story needed a focal point to keep it grounded and the stakes meaningful, and Shepard was the perfect avatar in which players experienced this story. Including Shepard in the next Mass Effect game would bring a similar purpose, creating a nostalgia, an instant emotional bond between the players and the new game. More than anything, Shepard is just a great character, and it will be fun to see how they fare in a post-Reaper world. BioWare has already found out what happens when they try to make a game without Shepard. In Mass Effect Andromeda, which is considered by many the worst of the Mass Effect games, it had some pretty big drawbacks. It couldn't live up to the previous trilogy in a critical or commercial way, and it failed to build the same dedicated fan base that the original games had. One of the reasons people state for this was because many of the fans felt the Ryder twins were a poor substitute for Shepard. And without the dynamic and strong protagonist, the game just didn't have the same impact. The next Mass Effect game might face a similar problem if it features another new character, and this could really impact the game as a whole. One thing that BioWare has to do is to look at moving the franchise forward. So Mass Effect Andromeda might not quite have been the game that everyone wanted, from the fans to the studios, but that doesn't mean that the next Mass Effect game is doomed to repeat some of its struggles. The riders may not have been as popular as Shepard, but bringing back the original protagonist could be a step in the wrong direction. Shepard's whole shtick was taking down the Reapers, and in Mass Effect 3, they achieved that goal and the arc was completed, especially if BioWare makes the destroy ending canon. Bringing Shepard back might actually make the game feel more like a fan service and not a genuine game. We have to remember that Mass Effect 3 does close off the chapter of the Milky Way's history, even if people weren't particularly happy with it. And Shepard making a comeback would just neatly open it back up again and could potentially lead to some messy revisionist storytelling. And there's also no telling what the next Mass Effect version of Shepard might be if they have not got good writers on the story of the game, and that actually might disappoint the fans if it certainly turns out to be a badly written version of Shepard or just someone like an NPC in the game. So what are the implications for Mass Effect, or the next Mass Effect game? Some fans feel like it's time for a new Mass Effect narrative. No matter how beloved Shepard might be, Commander Shepard's story is in the past, and there are many amazing characters, races, storylines to explore beyond the N7 operative. Early glimpses into the next Mass Effect game seem to suggest that BioWare is intent on bringing all previous games together in a new entry, with both Andromeda and the Milky Way featured, as well as some returning characters like Liara. The reveal of a small piece of N7 armor also points to the possible return of Shepard, which goes back to what I said earlier about the Mass Effect merchandise recently mentioning him, even if BioWare do consider it a mistake. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch and listen to this video. I've been the NPC Unknown, and from me to you, this video is game over.